Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel and welcome to this week's studio vlog. I hope you're all well. So you joined me today on a Sunday. It is a Sunday afternoon. It's really gorgeously sunny today. So before I do any work and any sorting out, I really want to nip outside and get planting some of my plants. So yeah, let's go and do a little bit of gardening and then I'll have a bit of a chat with you later on. Okay, so I've had a very productive afternoon in the garden. I've managed to completely clear this little bed out of all the tulips and daffodils that are in it. Same with this one, and then we also done the pots over there which all had tulips and daffodils in. So yeah, they're currently all lying over here. What we're hoping to do is basically plant them again next year. So we're going to let them dry out and shrivel up into themselves. Ew. And then hopefully we can plant them in some better pots next year. So yeah, I've got tulips here, daffodils here, and then these are like my unknown ones, or my little ones which I haven't got a clue what they are. Okay, good evening. So I'm now back in my room at my desk. I've just been and had a nice lovely warm shower because I got absolutely covered in soil. But yeah, so I've had a nice warm shower, I've had some dinner, had a bit of a chill in front of the telly, and I now need to get on with doing a little bit of work. Now usually, Sunday nights for me are usually like about doing a lot of planning and organising and working out what I'm going to get done each week. But I don't actually feel like I need to do that tonight, because where recently I've had a bit of like a unproductive session, I kind of had a bit of like a get your bum in gear planning session like last night. So instead of doing a little bit planning, sit and draw some of these little things that I collected whilst I was doing my gardening today. So I've got a few little like tulip heads. These are the ones which were kind of still a little bit in flower. I feel a bit guilty for actually digging them up and cutting the heads off, but yeah, they're not going to go to waste because I want to use them as a bit of a little art inspo. Afternoon everybody. So it's the next day now. Yesterday was fairly successful. It's had quite a nice chilled out vibe yesterday. Like obviously I got my gardening done, and then I sat and worked on them little observational drawings. They turned out quite nicely actually. So obviously I've got all my little daily doodle sketches, and what I want to start doing is developing them into like products and designs and illustrations. I'll probably have to do a little bit of photoshopping and try and get them produced into like prints and stuff like that, hopefully with the aim of eventually selling them, because at the moment they're just kind of sitting in my sketchbook not really doing much. So yeah, that is one of my main focuses for this week's studio vlog, is to actually start producing some stuff out of like the artwork that I have been doing recently. I want to start seeing if I can develop a children's colouring book. Well, I don't know 100% if I just want to focus it just at children, or if I want to like do an adult aimed colouring book. or both, I don't know, but I do want to start developing a colouring book and some like activity packs and stuff like that. So that is my other main focus for this week. So to kick it off properly, I want to start working on one of my daily doodles. Now I do believe that this week it is World Ocean Day. I think it's World Ocean Day on the 8th, which is tomorrow. So that is probably going to be my theme for my little daily doodles this week, is like marine life and ocean life and stuff like that. So I think I want to draw some like whales and sharks and dolphins and stingrays and just anything that you find under the sea. So I'm going to sit and sketch some of them out, and then I'll get on with some more work in a bit. Okay, so I've just finished sketching out these little killer whales just so that they're ready to start painting tomorrow. And also I want to sketch out a few little turtles because I've got that song Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride from Lilo and Stitch stuck in my head. That song always reminds me of turtles, so I think I'm probably going to sketch out some turtles and then turn it into like a TikTok video, but that will be my tomorrow job. Because now what I want to go and do is actually go and plant the little plants I didn't get around to planting yesterday. And then I'm probably going to take my little sketchbook out with me, like my little tiny one, and do a couple of like little observational drawings in the garden. I also want to go and get dinner ready, and then I'll come back and do a little bit of work later on. Okay, so these are the plants that I want to get planted out in my garden today. So I've got a lobelia, I've got a mixed selection of like little flowers. I've got a geranium, a fuchsia, a portadillo, oh, I can't say that word, whatever they are. Oh, I just lost the label for that. Some lavender, and I think these ones are begonias. About to do a little bit of work, but I've just come back in from doing all my gardening, and I also sat outside and done a little bit of drawing outside. So I sat and sketched a couple of my little strawberry plants that are growing quite nicely out in the garden, and I also sat and drew some of my little gardening tools. They're not the best drawings in the world, but that's what I quite like about this little sketchbook, because it's so dinky and little. It kind of takes the pressure off for me a little bit, and like allows me just to sit and draw from observation when I feel like it. So there's another gardening fork, and then these are the little bulbs that I dug up yesterday. that was quite a nice little study session. I had some dinner as well, and now what I want to do is start working on doing some daily doodle development. So I've decided that the way that I'm going to do some of my daily doodle developments is to kind of just pick one animal at random. So today I picked some meerkats, and I gradually want to start building up a collection of like information and drawings about like their habitats and things that they eat. So I've started by looking at what meerkats eat, and I found out they eat scorpions. So I've done a drawing of a scorpion, I've done a beetle and another scorpion, and lizards apparently they like to eat, and I've done some more lizards as well. And what I want to do now is work on some more of these type of drawings. So I know that they obviously like eating, I think these are pomegranates, so I presume they like eating pomegranates, and I think they like eating figs and like appley fruity things. So I think I'm going to find some little reference photos of some figs and some pomegranates and sit and try and draw them for a little bit. Kitchen, as you can probably tell. So my first job for today is I need to make my mum a birthday cake. It's actually going to be a cheesecake because it's her birthday tomorrow, and it's also my nephew's birthday tomorrow. So yeah, I thought I'd make a nice little cheesecake. It is going to be a chocolate and hazelnut cheese. Basically it's a Nutella cheesecake, but I'm using the cheaper version of Nutella. So yeah, I've got some Philadelphia cheese, some double cream, butter and biscuits for the base, lemon juice, hazelnut chocolate spread, which is basically like a cheaper version of Nutella, and then ice and sugar, and some little chocolate twirls to put on the top. Okay, so I need to melt 120 grams of butter. And then I've got to crush up 280 grams of biscuits, mix them together. I've made my little lumpy sand mixture. So now what I need to do is pour it into the tin and press it down. I'm probably going to use a glass to press it down with, just because I think it helps flatten it out a little bit. And then it'll be on to making the middle bit. I spent a little bit of time whipping up the whipped cream. It's now forming little soft peaks, which is good. So now I need to start adding the rest of the ingredients. So I need to put in 400 grams of Philadelphia cheese, 75 grams of ice and sugar, half a juice of a lemon, and then it's basically just adding the Nutella, but I'll add these all in first and fold them in because I want to try and keep all the air in it. So I've just finished working on these two little killer whales, and I also posted a little TikTok video up on my TikTok account because I thought it'd be quite nice to paint them, because obviously, as I mentioned yesterday, today is World Ocean Day, so I thought it'd be quite nice to paint them and then get them up onto TikTok and Instagram and stuff. I haven't done these ones yet because that's going to be a tomorrow job. And then obviously I've got to sketch out some more marine life for the rest of this week. What I want to work on doing next is filming some little kids art and craft tutorials. It's mainly art tutorials. So in this little sketchbook I've already come up with a few little tutorial ideas. I'm not going to film these ones yet because I'm not quite done with how I want them to look, but I've come up with like a little ring-tailed lemur tutorial, ring-tailed lemur illustration. I've got a little red panda illustration, a really cute little baby otter, and then some little koala bears. So I need to just double check my breakdown of how to draw them, write a few notes, and then hopefully get filming them. currently sitting out in my garden because I want to start phase 3 of my big gardening project, which is to start putting all my little sunflower seeds out. I've basically cultivated a little sunflower seed army, so I need to try and find some little places in the garden to put them all, and yeah, so they can start growing nice and big and strong. They are my favourite flowers, sunflowers. So yeah, hopefully I'm going to spend a bit of this evening getting all my sunflowers out. I've already done my daily doodle for today, and then later on I want to start developing my little daily doodles into proper like little illustrations, so I'm probably going to have to scan them into my computer and edit them on Photoshop and stuff like that, and also get like some tracing paper out and a big piece of paper to mind map some ideas down and create some little thumbnails, and just to work out what I want to do with them. So yeah, I'm going to do a bit of gardening and do a little bit of work a bit later on. Ralphie, what are you doing, you silly dog? Okay, so I have just finished planting out all my little sunflowers, and also I've planted out a few delphiniums and lupins, but I don't particularly know if they're going to do very much because they were very diddy and very little. I probably should have left them to grow a little bit bigger before I planted them out, but I kind of just wanted to get them planted. So we'll see if something happens to them. You never know with the miracle of nature. It might work, it might not. All my sunflowers might die. I hope they don't, but they might. You never really know with gardening. That's actually what I quite like about it. So yeah, I've just finished gardening. I've put all my stuff away on the shelf and tidied my shelf up a little bit, and I now need to go inside and have a nice drink. I'm going to have a nice warm shower because I'm covered in mud and paint, which is no surprise, common occurrence with me, to be honest. But also I'm being bitten to death by a load of gnats and mosquitoes, so I am going to go and have a nice warm shower and get into some pyjamas and some comfy clothes so I can then get on with doing my daily doodles. Hey Karki, so it's a little bit later on now. I'm now back in my room. I've had a nice lovely gorgeous warm shower. I feel a lot more cleaner and less covered in like soil and paint. So what I want to do now is get on with working on some of my little daily doodles and trying to develop them into some print designs and come up with some ideas of like products and stuff like that. So as you know, I've already started kind of doing some little additional drawings for my little meerkat studies that I've done in the past. So obviously I've got this little scorpion, I've got all my other little lizards and scorpions and beetles, I've got my little pomegranates which I think have turned out really nicely. It's making me want to do like a whole like spread and design to do with pomegranates, but that might have to be another day. And then I've also got my other little lizards that I've done recently. But what I want to do tonight is main focus on the original meerkat drawings and start turning them into sketchbook, what I call a sketchbook print design. So on Photoshop what I do is I collect a load of the images together and come up with like a little spread. So these are all of my little orangutan doodles that I've done in the past, print design. So that's what I want to do with my little meerkats, and possibly some of my other doodles that I've got in this book, which I just sat and scanned into my computer.